Hello teacher, my name is Julian Gomez and I am going to talk about the civil engineering in the climate change. The climate change is an irrefutable fact with impacts are already considerable. The engineering is not alien to this process and therefore has to face for different important challenges. For example, on the one hand, try to stop the greenhouse gas emission around the world, like the carbon dioxide, and on the other hand, try to find for different alternatives to build sustainable constructions. The climate change is associated with our growth model. Our growth model is based on the burning of fossil fuels like the oil or the gasoline, and this activity generates a lot of problems. The main problem is the increase on the global warming. The increase on the global warming is expected to be 0.2 degrees Celsius every 10 years, which will cause effects on the ecosystems, on the human societies, on the economy, and in the health. But what are the causes of the climate change? There are a lot of causes of the climate change, but I want to talk about the civil engineers' impacts in the climate change. In that order, the civil engineers are present in many areas of works, but the construction industry and the transport system are the main causes of greenhouse gas emission around the world. For example, in the construction industry requires a lot of cement every year. The production of cement generates a lot of carbon dioxide. On average, for every tons of cement produced, 1 ton of carbon dioxide is produced too. For this reason, we need to keep the control in the cement production. Also, in the construction, there is a poor handling of the rubbles and the garbage. Other example in the construction is the construction with wood. In the construction of wooden infrastructures, the humans have been cut down the tropical forest without reforest. We need to remember that the trees are very important to regulate the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. And the last one example is the transport system and the industrial process. In both cases, we use the burning of the fossil fuel. And therefore, what are the consequences of the climate change? The climate change have a lot of consequences, but the main consequences are, for example, the increase on the rainfall, the increase in the temperature, a long periods of drought, and this generates a increase in the forest fires, as in the Amazon rainforest, where many animals died and several square kilometers were burned. Also, this reduce the fertility in the food crops and increase the possible of flooding in the cities. Other consequence is the thawing of the ice blocks. The thawing of the ice blocks is a big problem because this generates an increase in the rise in the rise sea levels and increase the possible of flood and damage into the coastal cities. Other important consequence is the artifacts into the global economy. So what have the civil engineers done about it? In the recent years, the civil engineers have proposed some solutions to mitigate the impacts in the environment caused by the construction industry and the transport systems. In the first place, we find that the civil engineers use the rice hull ash as supplementary cementing material with which the cement content into the concrete can be replaced, what is very good because the production of cement is lower and therefore the production of carbon dioxide is lower too. On the other hand, the factories have been recycling waste to reuse it as a raw material for a new concrete. For example, in some European countries, the rubble is crushed and reused as aggregate for the new concrete. And regarding for the transport system, change have been implemented into the modal distribution system, giving priority to environment-friendly mode. For example, we use the public transport systems over the public transport system over the private one, use the shared vehicles, use the electric vehicles, and use the exclusive lane for the bicycles. And in another presentation, I will depend into the activities that the civil engineers implement to regulate the environment impacts. Thank you. Bye.